Today we'll be talking about sum product function in Excel. So what does sum product function do? The syntax of sum product function says that it takes arrays as input to sum product function. So the arrays which are given as input to sum product function should be of same length. Let's say we have two arrays which has 10 elements each. So what does sum product function do with those two arrays if those two arrays is given as input to sum product function? What sum product function does is it multiplies the element 1 of array 1 with the element 1 of array 2. After it multiplies, it keeps the result and then it does the same thing with the second element of array 1 and second element of array 2. It multiplies the second element of array 1 and second element of array 2. It does the same thing for all the 10 elements in both arrays. After it multiplies the corresponding values of both arrays, it sums the resultant values. So the result which we get is the sum of products of corresponding values in an array. In the arrays which are given as input to sum product function. Let's understand about sum product function by using an example. As we can see in the screen, the screen contains the average and number of matches played by 11 players of a cricket team. So let's say the cricket team is having 11 players, and their average and the number of matches they have played is shown in this particular table. So let's say we want to find the number of scores played by all number of runs scored by all the players of the team. So to find out that, how will we find out that? First we should find the number of runs scored by each member of the team. To find the number of runs scored, we'll multiply the average with the number of matches the player has scored. So if we multiply the average with the number of matches the player has played, then we'll get to know the number of runs the player has got. So in this case, player 1 has got 2376 runs. Similarly, if we multiply the average in the number of matches of each player in the team, we'll get to know the number of runs scored by each player in the team. As you can see in this particular table, the number of runs scored by player 3 is the maximum number of runs by a player in the team. The second best would be the player 2 was scored 635 runs. His average is around 41. So after we find the runs scored by each player in the team, to find the runs scored by all the members of the team, what we will do is we'll sum the individual sums, and then we'll get to know the total runs scored by all the members of the team. So it's equal to 45850. So what do you think of this particular process which we follow? Don't you think it's a tedious process to find the runs scored by each player and then sum after finding runs scored by each player? Yes, it's a tedious process. Is there any alternative for this process? Yes. So the alternative for this process is the sum product function. So as I told you earlier, the sum product function takes arrays as the input. So in this case, we'll give average as the first array, runs scored as the second array. So what it will do is it will multiply the corresponding elements of each array, corresponding values of the arrays, like the first value of first element of array 1 and first element of array 2. So the same process which we followed here, the sum product function will do, and after finding the product, it will find the sum of all the products which we found out. So as you can see here, the sum product function gave the same result what we got earlier. It first multiplies and then it finds the sum of all the multiplied values. So this is don't you think that this alternative is a better approach compared to the approach which we followed earlier? I definitely think that this is a better approach. So this is the default application of sum product function. There are other applications of sum product function like addition sum product, multiplication sum product, division sum product, subtraction sum product. These topics we'll be discussing in later videos. There's also other criteria which sum product function will take. That also we'll discuss in later videos. That's all we have it from our end today. Thanks a lot.